Hello and aloha pa. It's 10 o'clock, Friday. I think it's 18th of February, I'm not sure. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I've been saying talk about it before, but it has become a serious issue for a lot of Baha'is. Many of them, they don't understand what am I saying. As an elder, I'm an elder, and universal laws of justice has cast me off. They say I'm the enemy of Baha'u'llah. No Baha'i should contact me. So it's a clear conflict for them as who's right, who's not right. I think the best solution for these things, because these are fundamentals, the best is to refer to the books, that's what it is. So again, it's hard for the Baha'is. They say that, well, so we take that you have read the book, therefore you are right and they're wrong. And what are we supposed to do in between? So as a result, it seems a lot of them, they have left Baha'i Faith as far as the universal laws of justice and Baha'i Administration concerns. Also, they haven't come towards me. It's like in limbo. Like they see a conflict, a battle between the two groups, and they're just gone. So I have to, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to do it right now again. I've got some note for myself. Well, the short answer is that, yes, I am the elder of God. There are many evidences I've brought for you that I am. But then, what to do with universal laws of justice that exist right now? The short answer is this: universal laws of justice, or the people that they call themselves universal laws of justice, and the people that they believe in them, they elected them, they have the right as a group to have an opinion, whatever the hell that opinion is. They have the right to say that I'm outside of the Baha'i Faith. This right is given to everyone in the world, including them. But it is their choice. The question is that, is it the right choice? You see, is it the right choice? Based on the Baha'i Faith that I have studied, and I'm not getting money to say this, and you judge it for yourself if I'm stupid or not. Based on my study, this is not a right choice. This is a wrong thing to come on a person who is Baha'i to say that he's not a Baha'i. So it comes to the point again, as I said in the book. There's Shoghi Effendi. What's a Baha'i? He says the one who believes in Bab, in Baha'u'llah, in Abdul-Baha, in Shoghi Effendi, and in the Baha'i Administration. As a belief, as an acceptance. If you do not believe in the Baha'i Administration, you're not a part of the Baha'i ideas. If you don't believe in Bab, you're not. If you believe in not to believe in Shoghi Effendi, you have to accept this is the Baha'i doctrine, has 5 pillars. The Bab, Baha'u'llah, Abdul-Baha, Shoghi Effendi, and the Baha'i Administration. This is what you have to believe. Okay. Is that means that you have to obey all of them? If you do not or cannot obey some of the laws of Baha'u'llah, you're not a Baha'i? Of course you are. In fact, no one can claim that he's perfectly have followed everything Baha'u'llah said. Shoghi Effendi says it's impossible. We have a dross, D-R-O-S-S, to that perfection. We can't do it. But we try. 50%, 51%, There's no perfect Baha'is. But There's something historically out there. A bad religion is where the followers, they do not obey the revelation of God, but believe the present administrator. People don't follow Jesus Christ, but they follow whatever Pope says. They don't follow the Prophet Muhammad, but whatever Ayatollah says. Baha'is were not supposed to be this, but they are. They're missing and forgetting and not doing a lot of things Baha'u'llah and Abdullah and Shoghi Effendi has said. In daily life, you know, things that he said one has to do. And yet, they follow the universal laws of justice. When they say, I'm not a Baha'i, I'm outside of the Baha'i, they say, no, their word is infallible, we have to follow. This is the story, what's infallible. So, going back to the writings, when Universal Laws of Justice was formed, they asked them, who's the guardian after Shoghi Effendi? They said that we're not a part of this guardianship. We're a separate entity, or a different arm. We can't say who's the guardian after, and we cannot legislate a law that make it possible. And then they say, the entire administration is a tool, is a means. It is not the Baha'i Faith itself. Shoghi Effendi reiterate this in the biggest way, that the entire administrative order of the Baha'i Faith is a means, the tools. And he says, beware that you don't replace religion with the tools. It's very well known. The function of universal laws of justice is not these things. It's just a tool, it's a means. So, you can be a Baha'i perfectly, but don't vote. You don't have to be even a member of the Baha'i administrations. You may not even register yourself as a Baha'i, but still you're a Baha'i. As long as you believe in it. When they tell you what's Baha'i Faith, you have to say it's Baha'u'llah, Abdullah, Shoghi Effendi, and Baha'i Administration. But I have chosen not to be registering. This is the doctrine, yet I'm not doing it. You're allowed to say that. You're not spiritually condemned if you're not a part of the Baha'i administrations. So the Baha'i administration, the entire thing, they are saying that. We are legislators. We're not executives. Universal Laws of Justice says we have no power to execute these laws. It's not our function. So you have to ask yourself, then, who's going to execute these laws? When Baha'u'llah says, do this, do that, should do this, should do that. Clearly, there must be different administration. There is. In the Baha'i Faith, there are two types of administrations. One is the Baha'i administrations, headed by Universal Laws of Justice, National Spiritual Assembly, Local Spiritual Assembly. Then there is Baha'i government. Put it in Google, you will see it. Baha'i government is a different entity. Clearly, that's not Universal Laws of Justice. Then we have universal government. Baha'u'llah said you have to form universal government. So the Baha'i government is a different entity. It is not formed yet. So if this is your dilemma, that when you're teaching to the Baha'i, to the non-Baha'is about the Baha'i Faith, it's simply teach the Baha'i writing, and if they say, and they tell them that in the Baha'i system, there is a system to register and vote and be voted, yet that's only a tool. You have to mention that. That's a means. It's a ship, it's not a cargo. The goal of God is not universal laws of justice. The goal of God is the Baha'is, they become spiritual. As it is, they go to heaven, not to go to hell, to reach their spiritual capacity. It's not just a system or administration. Then what's the thing for? those who want to be the part of this administration and believe in it, they want to come to the Baha'i gathering. If they have a problem with another Baha'i, they should not start a quarrel with each other. They have to refer to the Baha'i administrations. They should not bring their own doctrine and they try to teach Baha'i Faith based on that doctrine. They have to just say this is what their understanding of the faith of God is. So the other question is that, well, what happens to all these laws that is written in the Baha'i Faith? You have to, this is the law of inheritance. Yes, it is, if you want to follow. There's no order upon you that you have to do. If you don't follow the Baha'u'llah's laws of inheritance, you're still a Baha'i. This is a suggestion. You can do something else if you want to. Comes further. It says that, if a person burn a house, who's going to do it? Universal laws of justice and Baha'i administrations, we're not executive, we're just legislatures. Who's going to do it? Baha'i government. Baha'i government is that executive arms. That has not come yet. It will come in the future. And what is that? Based on the Baha'i doctrine, Baha'i faith, the entire revelation of Baha'u'llah, all the laws and everything is just a suggestion. It is what God says is the truth. You want to follow, you don't want to follow. It's up to you. Is there a way out? No. Baha'u'llah does not dictate to any particular person or organization or government or force to dictate his laws and his revelation amongst the people. He does not accept that. Why is that? It's because, as Abdullah says in some answered questions, the faith of God is based on the natural necessity. It's a necessity of living on the planet Earth. But it's up to you if you don't want to live and want to die. Go ahead. Whoever wants to accept. The more you follow that, the more perfect the society will be. But if you don't and you throw some of it down, it's up to you. So the future Baha'i government is made naturally of the majority of the Baha'is in a country, in a city, or in the world. Those Baha'is, they practice the social order of Baha'u'llah. Equality of man and woman is not in spiritual things. It's not something universal laws of justice have to, teach to people. Baha'is, they read it and they form a government in which there is equality between man and women's right. Education becomes compulsory, basically like Canada. Canada is the Baha'i government. It's just they do not know that somebody else before them has said these things. The spirituality of it is lacking. The members are not a spiritual way Baha'u'llah says. They follow my orders, but they don't know I'm the source. That's what it says in the West. In the East, they know me who I am, but they don't follow the rules and the laws. The Westerners, they do that. Canada is perfectly the Baha'i government that I can think of, to a certain percentage. It's not the perfect one. So then when you look at it, based on what I said, because it's not a dictatorial system, so let's say 40% of the people in a country, they're not Baha'is. 60% is. They make a Baha'i government. This Baha'i government is a secular government. It's not a religious government. Religious government is that the Baha'is in that country, they also vote for their own religious organizations. Just like Christians right now, they vote for their own religious organization. They elect Pope and whatnot, Muslim the same way. It's like a Sharia law. Baha'is, they have a spiritual life, a personal life at home. It consists of their marriage, their divorce, whatever they want to do. They're free. They go through the Baha'i system. Some of them may not. They say we're Baha'is, but we don't want to be a member of this administration. It's up to them. secular government is where politics comes, a different type of politics. It's not in politics. The people that are elected in those countries are based on their merit, because there is no two-party system. There's no party system. So Baha'is might very well vote for a non-Baha'i, because it deals with economical, social issues, and they say these non-Baha'is are perfectly capable of doing that. Therefore, entire Baha'i administration is that spiritual dimensions of the life of the Baha'is only who like and choose to be a part of it. That's it. Those Baha'is that don't want to be a part of it, they're free not to be. And the Baha'is are not to make universal or whatever our government. That's totally illegal. Baha'is are not entering into politics of any sort. And Universal Laws of Justice says we are not executive things. We cannot execute these laws. So he will do it as the Baha'i government in future. So therefore, I guess I summarize it again, that there is a Baha'i administrations with the head of Universal Laws of Justice and Universal Laws of Guardianship, which these guys get denied right now. So they're outside of the Baha'i Faith, based on the books. But even one day they accept and there is a Universal Laws of Guardianship, local, national, all of that has got nothing to do with economy and social order in the world. It's only their spiritual affairs. Now it's very hard to say to the people what's the difference between social and spiritual. I have said to you a million times. I'm not going to repeat myself. But what is got to do to live in the society, from traffic laws to the budget, to going out to the space, the schools, science, all that. These are all social issues that has got to do with the Baha'i government. But to that extent, the Baha'i government, they vary a lot. In some country, they might adopt 100% the laws of Baha'u'llah in that country. Be it, they have a choice. Okay, because 100% of the people are Baha'is. In a country they're not. They're 60%. They will not adopt all of it, certain. Anyway, when it comes to the social laws, those 12 principles, those are the mandates of the Baha'i governments. They're the catalyst for becoming a spiritual. They're not a spirituality. It's got nothing to do if you believe in a man and woman are equal, right? That does not make you a spiritual. But it opens the door for you to become a spiritual. If you don't believe that, you ain't going to become a spiritual at all. You're living in a stone age. If you don't believe in compulsory education, if you don't believe that there should be a second language to your mother language, if you don't believe there should be a universal government, disarmament of the world, all of that is a part of stage 1 to become a Baha'i. So many people, when the Baha'i government forms, maybe the other people that are not Baha'i, gradually they become Baha'i. So the amount of the laws of Baha'u'llah and the extent of it is up to the Baha'is and the other people in the country to adopt it or not adopt it, because Baha'u'llah says this is the truth. You want to take it, you want to leave it. It's up to you. But Baha'u'llah cannot be dismissed. Some people, a fellow today was talking about that. There is a spiritual humanism right now in the planet. Everyone knows that these things have to be, all the good people of the earth are the part of the goodness and this and that. I told him that is not what's the intention of Baha'u'llah. This is not. He wants to say the truth is so much bigger. Baha'u'llah is just a part of it. That is not it. This is my opinion. You will find that later. Baha'u'llah, can you separate a mother or father from children? Can you buy the children? Can you claim I'm your father, I'm your mother, and you're not? Can father or mother sell the kids? Almost none, you know. If somebody does, it's crazy. Nobody does. Baha'u'llah is the father and the mother and the owner of all the humanity. It is so important for him that he suffers to die and make thousands of people to die to make the point. We are his. He is ours. He is the creator of the universe, as I told you in the previous talk. Body and soul are nothing. There is a third character, the essence, the thought, as the Arabs they say. That is in us. We share with him on that. We have a little, but he's got big. For what we have in the past 2,000 years, we have made the world to be here. But he has the entire universe that we don't know what it is. We cannot even know a fraction of it. We don't have the means and the tools and the senses even to understand it. He's that big, so it needs a lot of will. He's a big, humongous, infinite will. Or there's a little bit of it. But yet, we have the same thing. We create so as him. We can't dismiss that power. There's no way. If we don't grow to recognize Baha'u'llah, we're like an orphan whose father comes in front of him if he doesn't understand it. There's two ways. Either he's just a baby, doesn't understand what father means, or he's gone so much wrong in his life that doesn't care if he's father or not. Which one is the person who wants to deny Baha'u'llah? Plus, he has made it that's impossible to deny him. The more and more it becomes distinct. It's not something that you can dismiss it. No, it's impossible. That you have to know yourself. In future, more and more and more, that how much of a ties we have with him. His laws are actually the most dangerous ones of all the religions in the past. Muhammad, Jesus, they go by force, they create the social laws and spiritual laws and make by force the people to become Muslims. Because people are so small, they need to force at that time. Today, Baha'u'llah is recognized that we're grown up. We have to choose our own way. We want him or not. If we don't, what will happen? The majority of the people do not see Baha'u'llah as the source of happiness, as a source of tranquility, as a source of personal health. If they don't, let's say, it's possible, this planet will be destroyed. He doesn't care. I tell you that right now. If he cannot claim his children, this planet will die. Who knows? Maybe Mars and Venus went through that. They were not capable to reach to the level of evolution that God appears among them, like it's happened in the earth. Yeah, it's possible. This earth, this life in this planet, it is impossible to survive without accepting Baha'u'llah. If you're stupid and you want to be a stupid, go ahead. But you want to see the truth of it, look at Canada, look at Iran. Iran is completely against the laws of Baha'u'llah. Canada, social laws of Canada is almost 50% or more inclined with the Baha'i Faith. Then what is the difference between Canada and Iran? Infinite. Because this society have understood on its own that the truth, you have to follow the truth. They got it. Social truth, economical truth. And they're all inclined to Baha'i Faith. And the Canadian marriage, divorce. If you want to get divorced, you can't get divorced in Canada. You have to wait a year for a divorce to register. Same as in the Baha'i Faith. If you get divorced, you have to wait a year. We call it the year of patience. So you see, these are social orders. It seems mankind is able to have his affairs, social and economical. They just do not know how to get their spiritual affairs. And this fellow was saying that, oh no, it's a humanism, you know, we all know what it is. I explained before. Without a spiritual quality, which is kindness and giving and taking care of and enjoying doing these things, it's not possible to live. And it's not by the action that you think you should. Many of these actions of generosity ends to the destruction of the people that you're generous to. Generosity is not a simple formula. You have to follow Baha'u'llah on that. So I hope I'm clear now. Do not be angry with universal laws of justice that they're saying that I'm not a Baha'i, I'm an infidel. They have the right to say that. I have the right to say also. My right is the choice based on the books. Their right, they have a right, but it's not according to us. Why would you say I'm the enemy of Baha'u'llah? What have I done? Or what have I said? Sure, I went against your will because I think you're false. You're a false institution. Or the least, you're incomplete. You're like a person who says, I believe Bab, Baha'u'llah, Abdul-Baha, but I don't believe in Shoghi Effendi. Then you're not a Baha'i. I believe in Bab and Baha'u'llah, Shoghi Effendi, but I don't accept Abdul-Baha. You're not a Baha'i. That comes in a package. Or I believe in all the four, but I don't accept Baha'i Administration. You're not a Baha'i. I do accept the philosophy, what God has said. You sure? But I know how this machinery has to operate. That is not what Baha'u'llah is guaranteed. Baha'u'llah is guaranteed a perfect machine. He's not guaranteeing the drivers. How are they going to drive this? He has not. Yes, he has said the universal laws of justice is infallible. But I told you before, Shoghi Effendi says divorce from the institution of guardianship will imperil the entire fabric of the Baha'i Faith. There is no Baha'i Faith. You know, if you don't accept the institution of guardianship. And they keep saying, well, there's no other guardian. I said, sure, there is no other guardian. But Shoghi Effendi has not said who is the next guardian. But he said there has to be Darul Velayah, which means house of guardianship. They keep saying that there has to be guardian in it. I'm telling them, no. Who said that? It's not written. He is not saying the house of guardianship is the center of the interpreters. House of guardians. No. He says it is the house of the interpretation, not interpreters. The people that are in the house of guardianship are not to be called guardian or interpreters. They just carry the responsibility. Same as the member of universal laws of justice. They legislate the new laws which is infallible, but they're not Baha'u'llah. Yet they can do legislation. Baha'u'llah is trying to teach mankind to do their own work. They can see this, that they can enact the laws that are infallible, but they can't see that other people they can come and interpret, yet they're not interpreters, but they carry the responsibility of interpretation. That's what I've told them. That's not my word, God. It's written in the book, many thousands times I've referred to. Because you don't accept this, then you do not accept a part of the Baha'i Faith. And if you don't, according to Baha'i Faith, then you're handicapped. You have divorced. You want to take part of it. This is not my religion. I haven't started this. I'm just a worker for Baha'u'llah. So, doesn't matter. Even if all of it comes true in future, that's a dismal point of the future of the earth. A dismal point. They can't even, whatever they enact, they cannot even put it into practice. They can't. The Baha'i government has to do it. They are the arm, and that's not formed yet. So be free to tell to the people, yes, in the future of the world there are Baha'i governments. They will come as a secular government because Baha'u'llah said his entire revelations, whatever it is only a suggestions, but a true suggestions. Yet it's up to us to accept it or not to accept it. There is no force, there's no gun behind our head. It is based on voluntarily accepting it. If you don't, you don't. So, can you teach the Baha'i Faith now? Yes, of course. What are they going to say about me and the Universal Faith? It's very simple. Some of the Baha'is, they have given the right to choose and to be the member of a false and incomplete system. It's up to them. Are we calling them not Baha'is? No. It's up to them. Why? Because no one should judge anybody. In the Baha'i Faith, no one knows what his own end shall be. You have to tell them. I teach today with the Baha'i Faith, but I might end up becoming a drift away later. Today I'm a Baha'i. I may not be tomorrow. So do not trust any individuals on this matter of the faith. If you do, then you believe in priesthood, and then you believe in Mullahism, then you do not believe in the independence of the individual souls. We are to be related to Baha'u'llah, to infallible being. There is no broker in between. There is no covenant broker. Okay? And before there was a priest, because you couldn't read the Bible, he has to tell you what God means. Not in this case. Do not be startled, that's my garage door. That just opened in the garage. Well, I think I've explained everything that I wanted to. And there isn't much to say. That's it. Allah Akbar.